Now, if you're looking for a delicious casserole, I'm gonna show you guys how to make my absolute favorite, a pork casserole with rice. Man, this thing is delicious. Get in your kitchen, let's go. All right, so here are the ingredients we're gonna use for today's recipe. So let's go ahead and do a quick roll call. So right here we have our pork chops here. Here we have our rice. Now I've already washed our rice, so I don't have to worry about doing that. Right here I have some adobo seasoning that I'm gonna use to season our pork chops. Now guys, if you wanna use whatever seasoning you want to for your pork chops, you can do that. You don't necessarily have to use adobo seasoning. Right here we have some green onions, some fresh parsley here chopped. We have some cream of onion soup here, cream of mushroom soup here, some black pepper, one small onion chopped. And right here I have some pork stock or broth, or whatever you want to call it, guys. I know people ask me, what do you mean when you say pork broth or stock? So what I do is I take some water and I take a pork bouillon cube. Let me show you what this is here. I've never seen these in the States, but here in Dominican Republic, they have these pork chuleta is pork. So as you can see, even though it has chicken on here, it has a pork chop there. So it has a pork flavor to it. So I boil some water, crumble that in there in the water, let it continue to boil, let it dissolve, and then I use it as a stock. So and what this does, it brings out that extra flavor, especially when you're using pork. It just adds to the flavor profile, guys. So if you have this in the States, get some. If not, check Amazon and see if they got it over there. Maybe you can buy it on Amazon. So anyway, these are the ingredients, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is start seasoning our pork chop. So I'm gonna hit it with a little olive oil, and I'm just using that olive oil as a binder. It's always good to add a nice little binder to your meat. It just helps with the flavor. We're gonna get that moved around in here. You don't need much, guys. Now we're gonna go in with our pepper, and we're gonna do the same thing, kind of move it around. Just like that. Now we're gonna come up back across that with our adobo seasoning. And guys, I don't know if you ever tried this adobo seasoning, but I love this adobo seasoning. It just adds so much extra flavor to your foods. And it's an all-purpose seasoning, so guys, really you don't have to use anything else. You don't need to, garlic powder, salt. I mean, it's already has salt in it and stuff like that, so has all that inside one seasoning, so you don't have to really do too much. Now I like pepper, a little bit additional pepper in my food, so I always add some additional pepper, even though this does have a little pepper in it. And we're just gonna get that moved around. And remember, guys, always season to your liking. You may look and say, hey man, you putting too much on there. And I'm gonna say, man, I'm putting too little on there. All right. So that was about a tablespoon and a half of seasoning of that adobo, and about a teaspoon of pepper. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is sit this aside. We're gonna head over to our cooktop, or bring our cooktop into the shot, and we're gonna start getting these babies cooked up, all right? All right, so now we're at our cooktop. We're gonna get it turned on, get that temperature start to heat up. We're gonna add a little olive oil. Just kind of cover the bottom of the pan. And we're gonna let that heat up. All right, once you start seeing the oil kind of fizzle at the bottom, you can start adding your pork chops. And what we're gonna do, we're not gonna cook them all the way through. We're just gonna brown them on each side. And I'm gonna start out with one pork chop at a time, guys. So about 1 minute on each side. We're gonna turn that baby over. 1 to 2 minutes. We just wanna get a nice little brownish color on it. See guys, this is what you want. Just something that looks a little bit like that. You just want that light brownish color on there, all right? So I'm gonna put this over on a plate, and I'm going to finish it off with the rest of my pork chops. All right, so this is what we have right here, guys. Take a look at that, beautifully brown. So now what we're gonna do, the next step is we're gonna move our pork chops aside, bring over our baking dish that we're gonna cook these babies in. I'm gonna spray this with a little cooking spray. And we're gonna take our rice and our baking sheet, just like that. We're gonna come behind that with our onions, our green onions, our parsley, cream of onion soup, cream of mushroom soup, now pork stock or broth, whatever you want to call it. And what we're gonna do now is just mix all that in together just like this. And you wanna make sure you get this mix really, really good, guys. All right, so it looks like we have it mixed really, really well. So what we're gonna do is kind of like even it out over the top like this. Next, we're gonna take our pork chops and we're just gonna add them on top just like that. Man, take a look at that. Listen, guys, let me tell you, this recipe is amazing. I make this all the time. And we're gonna take our, just a little gravy that's in there, man, that was in that the pork chops released after it was sitting. We're just gonna add some more of that over the top just like that. Oh my goodness. Now we're gonna cover this up tightly with aluminum foil, like this. And we're gonna cook this baby for an hour and a half slowly on 325. That's what makes this recipe so amazing, is that you cook it slow and you allow those flavors to just meet each other in the middle and start talking and getting to know each other. And the man, I tell you, it just comes out delicious, guys. So let me get this in the oven so we can hurry up for the hour and a half to pass by, all right? All right, so we're about an hour and 15 to 20 minutes in. So we're gonna go ahead and unveil our pork chops. Guys, take a look at that. Let me zoom in on that, guys. Take a look at that right there. Man, this looks absolutely delicious. And we're going to top that off by sprinkling some fresh parsley over the top, you know, like we like to do. Give it a little color. And I'm also throw a few green onions over the top too. Not many, just kind of garnish it with a few green onions. And there you have it, guys. Pork chop and rice casserole. Man, like I told you, this is one of my favorite recipes right here. I make it all the time. When I tell you guys we get into quality control, you don't have to add any salt or anything to this baby once it comes out of the oven. It's already ready. So let's go ahead and get into quality control, because I'm gonna leave the measurements and the ingredients all in the video description below. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this recipe. So let's go ahead and jump into quality control. Okay, so we are back for quality control, guys. Take a look at that. Oh man. Guys, when I tell you, you know, when I say this is one of my favorite recipes, it is, guys. I want to let you take a look at that rice. So you guys can see the flavor of the rice. Oh man. Listen, you don't have to add any salt to this. Just season your pork chops and that's it. That cream of mushroom and that cream of onion seasons this rice. Oh man, to the fullest. Oh man, I tell you, to be honest with you, the rice is the best part of this to me. The pork chop, I love pork chops, but the rice is the best part because it's just so flavorful. Let's get one of these pork chops, because I'm gonna eat the rice. I'm gonna get into one of these pork chops. Oh man, and to eat a pork chop, I mean, it's just so tender. Again, full of flavor, guys. If you season your pork chop right, I'm talking about this is a masterpiece. Trust me, it's a masterpiece. So until then, I'm your cook, Spinelli. Y'all already know this is all wings, everything. And I got to get back to my pork chop casserole, because man, I'm about to tear into it. And remember, I'm not a chef. I just cook a lot. And now I'm out. Peace.